because I already started the recording. Ready?
I'm ready. Just
I'm gonna wait till you done moving all over your screen. Hey everybody, it's your girl Drea. Welcome to another episode of Echo 4. If you are new, this is a channel where we discuss different media content, and today we're on episode 3 of the Bad Batch called The Replacements. Now, this episode was split between two narratives, the Bad Batch and the one they left behind, Crosshairs. But before I get into the details, let's say hey to the folks.
It's your boy the Mad Prince. What's good with you? I'm Link.
Hi, it's Brittany.
Yo, it's your boy Can't Sign.
All right, like I said before, this episode split between two different narratives, and I think it was fairly balanced because this 16 episodes, some things will slow down. So you guys give me your overall impression of The Replacements.
I feel like this is one of those episodes that's kind of like, Like I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it either. I feel like it was just damn. It's hard to put. It was just an episode being an episode. It was nothing. I felt like it didn't really drive the plot home. It didn't forward the overall plot. It wasn't bad, but it was kind of like it was somewhat forgettable for me personally, but that's just my opinion. Because it was a lot of. You know what? No, it just is. It's an episode that just is in like the whole span of everything. So maybe the next episode would be different, so on and so forth. Though, but you're gonna have episodes like that just kind of doesn't drive the overall plot home and just forward it, and it's just there to be there, kind of like building out other stuff. So yeah, I didn't hate it, didn't like it either. It's okay.
I thought this episode, you know what? I kind of agree with Will. I didn't hate it, but I wasn't crazy about it. And honestly, the parts that stood out to me had nothing to really do with the Bad Batch per se. It was more of the, I guess the clone versus the stormtrooper, like the humans, the regular humans. That part, so that was the only part that I was just like, but everything else I was just like, okay, that's cool. So yeah.
Ken?
Yeah, I kind of liked the episode because of a couple of my theories that I was thinking about from the first couple of episodes are coming into fruition. We do kind of see, you know, Tarkin like proceeding on with like the transition from clones to regulars, and the struggle between him and, you know, the Kaminoans and other stuff. And so in like what Will said, this is a transition episode. I feel similar to in Mandalorian when Din Djarin was taking Frog Lady and they crashed on the ice planet with the spider shit.
Low key got similar vibes.
Yeah, similar type of vibes, and so it's a transition episode, but it was pretty good, I would say. But yeah,
that had suspense though, man. That shit was,
yeah,
that had suspense. That episode kept me more invested than this episode right here.
Well, yeah, giant ass spiders, monster, alien thing that.
It was like trying to be a horror flick for a minute.
Yeah, like Alien, basically.
Yeah, that's basically.
I mean, it was.
I fuck with this.
Aliens meet eight-legged freaks. Yeah, I liked how they integrated Crosshair because I think it kind of counterbalances, because the Bad Batch was plateauing for a bit. It was not much contextually plot-driven things going on. So to have him just kind of give it a bit dynamic, so I'm not lagging. But I think, you know, it's going to be one of those things, because we're used to recording, you know, reviewing series. They only had like 10 episodes, 6 episodes. So everything is really compact. And now we got 16. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, there's going to be some fluff in some areas. Yeah.
Yeah, usually in cases like this, I would just like either react to like multiple episodes in one video, because I had to do that shit. I had to do that shit with anime reactions, because like actually I did that because I did not want to edit that many videos. So I'm like 24 episodes. Yeah, I could do it in 6. Just like
In batches.
Work smarter, not harder.
yeah,
In arcs.
exactly. And I wasn't even partnered then. I got no money from that shit. So there you go.
All right. So the opening sequence, we start off with the Bad Batch escaping Saleucami, and they crash landed on the moon because one their capacitor blew out. Tech wasn't even bothered. He's like, it didn't really affect life support, so we're Gucci. I was too busy looking at these inhibitor chips. So capacitor got, they had a spare part. It got taken by an Octo Moon Dragon. So Hunter and Omega got a little side quest. Yay, we're back at side quest all over again. Wrecker got benched because he bumped his little head. And I guess Echo was just watching the shit while Tech is doing what he's doing. My first question is, I don't know if Wrecker bumping his head was just to get Hunter and Omega by themselves to develop that relationship more, and or hint, hint, wink, wink, more issues with the inhibitor chip. So question number 1, do you think the inhibitor chip will be a plot device for further drama outside of just Crosshair?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a major point of why Order 66 even happened. So it's definitely going to be prevalent to some degree. How that ends with the thing about the Bad Batch is that we don't know where these motherfuckers end up at all, as far as I know. After the fact. I mean, because technically this is not even technically, this is taking place between episodes 3 and 4, but it's taking place earlier than
and later,
and
in comparison with Rogue One.
This is immediately after Clone Wars. So
yeah, this is taking place earlier than Rogue One. This is taking place earlier than Rebels, and I don't remember seeing anybody from Bad Batch in Rebels. So so I think it's gonna be a plot. It's gonna be a major plot point. It has to be, because the only reason why Crosshairs is pretty much doing what he's doing is because that chip is active and they're fucking with it. So it's going to come to a massive confrontation between them and Crosshairs, and I don't know. It's weird, and it's definitely going to be a major plot point.
Yeah, I think it's going to play a major plot point. I do think that all of them are going to have to deal with the fact that this chip is in their head. And I feel like Omega probably have more information about it, and that can tell the Bad Batch about what's really going on in their head and stuff. I just don't know, like Will said, I don't know how it's going to end. If I don't know. I that's the mystery of it. But I do think that the chip is going to play a big part of all of them. So yeah,
because we saw none of these people anywhere else
exactly
after this fact, and that's really depressing. So
they could just be in hiding. doesn't mean they're necessarily
or living happily ever after.
Will, your mind goes to the darkest place.
Yeah, but for 40 years though, I don't know.
But
Luke, it wasn't 40 years, but yeah.
No, I also think it will play a big role. I think that the point of this episode of Wrecker getting hit in the head, constantly showcasing that, I feel like it may have gotten hit around the inhibitor chip area. Because I'm thinking of it, if I remember correctly, it's around the upper right area. So
and they emphasize that too in the scene. So I was just
it could either have good implications where it disables it for him somehow, where if they try to use it to control them later on, he's somehow immune to that control, or it could be a negative effect where he somehow starts to go berserk, or something bad happens. But I do think the inhibitor chip is going to play a big role with all of them, because all of the clones, I think, except maybe for Omega, I don't think Omega has a inhibitor chip.
Probably, yeah.
Doubtful.
I don't think so either.
So, I think that'll definitely be a big plot point as we proceed further.
Wrecker would be a sad one to lose because he seemed like the other friendlier one that anybody can connect to. Echo is like, I got trauma. Tech is like, I'm all about my computer.
Yeah, he's definitely the more warm like character, the other warm character in the group.
Which
Record too damn. Oh, I was about to say record too damn big to be a problem, bro. Yeah,
real.
They would literally have to put that man down, like, and that's sad.
Unless Rex come in, it's like, yo, we can get this surgically removed. Cause wasn't his surgically removed?
I think it was like surgically it was like scrambled. It was scrambled or deactivated some shit.
Okay. Yeah, they went in there, did something.
Yeah,
like we gotta be quick. They coming.
Yeah. It was like they tried to what's the name? Yuri tried to do Wakanda with the mines the stone out, but
yep.
But nowhere near as crazy. Nowhere near as crazy because that's a lot of work.
Okay, so moving on, Hunter and Omega get some more one-on-one time, giving us that familiar vibes that everybody's profiting off of. She ain't Grogu, but I guess it's kind of cute.
It's cute.
But I wonder if Hunter is going to be the main connection to have with her, or is she going to have interpersonal relationship with everyone in the Bad Batch, and she's part of the crew now, or just going to be her and Hunter? Or maybe it's just him right now because he's the lead, so he has to be the one to accept her, and then everybody else fall in line. What are your thoughts on that?
It looks like she's making her rounds with the crew because, like I said, Wrecker is like probably the second warmest character. So they had that little connection towards the end of the show when he made a room for her, and I think she's gonna like go to each one of them in some type of way and change them and make them like warm up to her, the idea of her, and like accept her. And right now I feel like it's really Hunter that accepts her as part of the crew. Everybody else like, well, I guess. But now it looks like it's gonna go towards everybody accepting her, and I feel like everybody's gonna have this certain connection to her. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, more or less of that. Because I'm thinking of like a couple different like series that kind of did something similar, where you have this new character introduced into this like well-established group and kind of changes the whole dynamic of the group as a whole. So yeah, I kind of think that's what's gonna happen, more or less. I never really thought about it too deeply, but I mean, it's kind of like it is what it is. So it's I want to say like how the Bad Batch changes because of Omega's presence is something that I can't perceive, because usually it's like this group has like an identity all on its own. They had a certain way of operating and so on and so forth, but like the fact that they rebelled against like the whole empire and shit like that, it kind of speaks volumes about their character already. So it kind of brings into question what is she gonna bring to the Bad Batch that would like from an emotional standpoint, I guess. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I definitely agree because as you said, like they all have their own elements to them, their own piece of the puzzle. While is she a missing piece, or is she a piece that's trying to find a place to fit? And I think this is exploring that idea, and I think it's kind of like she's going like somewhere in between where there's not, she doesn't exactly fit in, there's no defined place for her, but she's making a spot. She's
creating her.
Yeah, with in this episode when Hunter was knocked out, she took the initiative. She done what he would do and completed the mission. And she's like earning her place. Like there's positions available, but she's kind of earning it on top of that.
Mm-hmm. Cause she's been taking initiative. She's like, I can do this shit too, y'all. Let me get these train codes.
Which I appreciate.
We gonna have to jump your punk ass in.
Initiation. Okay, so onward to the second half. Not really half, because they really intercut all this stuff. Crosshair. So Crosshair is a new head bitch in charge, new bad bitch, queen bee
Period.
of the park. I'm like, damn. So we do see the start of Project War Mantle when they're using conscripted soldiers trying to replace clones, and they go on the same ass mission with different results because Crosshair is about that shit. So what are your reactions to Crosshair's new management skills? Because I had an interview and popping a cap in one of my subordinates was not part of the plan.
Shit, it should be. I had to manage people before. That shit sucks. Especially when they show up on bullshit. I'm like, boy, I'm like, man, I'm trying. You ain't worth me getting fired though, but I will beat your ass. I will beat the fuck out of you in the fucking back room, Joe. Don't try me. But no, no, especially this is me working. Yo, first of all, I hated everybody. I hated the world when I worked retail. That was the wrong time to try me. Anyway, that was the wrong time. Absolute wrong time to try me. Retail, like, nah. I'm like, bro, I don't give a fuck about these people, and I work with you. If I want you dead, nigga, stop fucking with me. Nah, I'm gonna be real. That one dude that was talking all that shit, that was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be the new leader. They're gonna replace your ass and shit." Like he kind of deserved it.
Yeah,
he
was
kind of
asking
deserved
for
it.
He
was asking for that smoke. And the minute when it came time to actually put in work, that nigga couldn't make his bones because he was too bitch made. So.
No.
Come
sorry.
on.
No.
Wait. I say,
okay, go ahead.
I say bitch made relative to
Crosshair.
That, yeah, relative to Crosshair. That's the thing. Granted, like because like if I was in that situation, like nah, I wouldn't put myself in that situation to begin with. I'm like, fuck the Empire.
I'm about to say none of us
work for the Empire. Nah, I'm good.
Well,
bro.
maybe kid.
Well, as you saw, like one of those conscripted people in there, he said, well, you know, they gave me a job, they gave me a house, they gave me an opportunity. Like there's more than Republic ever gave me. So like
you can't.
And I like that.
Yeah, but he can't join. You can't join the Empire with morals. That's bullshit.
But see, it's a new system, right? Or a new government system.
Yeah.
So it's like you think that
maybe he's jaded from the Republic.
Yeah, I would say it's just
because
like,
there were a lot of
let
people,
me try this.
I mean, the separatists were people that did not agree with the way the Republic worked, because especially the way a lot of them were in the Outer Rim. They were like they're the ones that were forgotten by the Republic.
And the Republic had some really fucked up ways when it came to planets outside of their region. So they really didn't give a fuck about those planets. And I can see how war could rage when people feel that way. I get it, but obviously I'm more aligned with the Republic side.
But then also, like, if you're in the Outer Rims and everything, and you don't have law and order, but then all of a sudden here's the Empire comes in offering, peace and order and everything.
Stability.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to buy it for that because they want
stability to get in exchange for your human rights. But
everything's a trade. There's
it definitely is.
Yeah, fascism isn't so bad, is it now, folks?
There's always extreme.
Dress it up.
There's always going to be
won't
extreme.
Know it's fascism.
I don't know. The minute people start marching through in fucking gray ass, drab ass suits and shit, and uniform body armor, it's like, man, this looked like bullshit.
But what can you do when you're just a regular
civilian?
Yeah, civilian. Like
the rebels were a lot of the rebels were regular civilians. Don't get it twisted. Like shit.
And they didn't make it out this mission either.
And what was the initial question, Drea?
As in your impression of that overall scene and Crosshair's management skills.
Okay.
Like,
I have something.
Okay.
I don't agree, but I do respect it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't respect it though. What I was saying.
She said none of it.
none of that. I don't. But he has no choice because situation going up
Does
here.
he? I mean, it sounded like he kind of sounded like how he was earlier.
Well, it seemed like whatever happened has enhanced. So
yeah,
that was
it's
like,
hands, but still, like, you know.
I
They
think
even amplified that shit afterwards. They like put that
when he
on Wombo.
returned back to the bunkers or whatever, what his crew used to be, it felt like they were trying to show him as in like he remembers the Bad Batch or remember going back here with his crew. So I feel like there's still some of that old Crosshair in him, but I do think that because they showed him killing that guy, I feel like they're trying to say that he's not going to be redeemed at the end. That's what I was feeling. I was like, ooh, when he did that, I was like,
well,
when you kill somebody, I don't know, like it just seems a little like.
I mean, he's still crosshairs though. Like it's like think of it like being drunk. Like you sober you is coherent as shit, but when you drunk, you might do dumb shit that you wouldn't really do when you're sober.
I tell people, address drunk nobody. Once sober Dre is back, you can't talk to me. You got to talk to drunk Dre.
That's essentially what's happening. I mean, because he still crosses, he still remembers all this shit. He still has all those experiences. It's just that his mood is altered by the fucking inhibitor chip.
That, yeah, but like, do you like? I don't know. I think it's just like him showing that part of Crosshair and the management skills. I was like kind of thinking like, oh my god, what are they gonna do with this character? Because right after that, I was like, ooh, like it just left a really bad taste in my mouth. Like I don't know if I want him. Yeah, I'm like I don't know if I want him to be back with the Bad Batch.
Well, let's keep it a buck. Crosshairs is a sniper. He's already a bitch. So, like, I hate snipers, bro. I hate snipers. I've played enough Call of Duty.
Well, that's Call of Duty. That's just Call of Duty. That's Call of Duty.
Somebody got you from a distance.
But like the whole idea of snipers is kind of bitch made. Like low key, like. To just go like in the corner somewhere where nobody can see you and you just like snipe people. So you don't even give them a fair chance.
You get a sneak hit. You get a sneak hit from all yonder.
The most satisfying thing is sneaking up on a sniper with a shotgun. I'd have cried tears of joy because you know what? That shit was so frustrating, motherfucker. And just, boy, man. I got stories, but no.
That's all I got with Adrian. I don't think he's gonna be redeemed after that scene. But
they keep on emphasizing, like, you know, Crosshair got the inhibitor chips. I'm like, here we are working with the grave. We just can't have no evil people. Just being bad. We just have to be
that gray area, you know, that gray area.
Fuck that shit. He gonna rank up more bodies than Carly. Let's go.
And to be fair, that dude who suddenly found his conscience and got his ass gunned down by Crosshair. I'm like nigga, really? You didn't read the Carfax on this fucking job post? Are you kidding me? Like, bro, they were asking for absolute loyalty. That means whatever they asked you to do, they expect
you to do it
without fail. And now nigga, this is not the move. He's
like, well, no, they're regular civilians. I'm like,
it's showcasing.
Clearly, they knew that, and they don't give a fuck.
Right?
Like,
that's a part of the test.
Yeah, it's showcasing how they weed out the. It's similar to, I would say, in Nazi Germany, how you have the regular Nazi army, and then you have the SS, who are like the extremists. Of the
well, they're the secret police.
They're more than that, but way more. But yeah, so this is kind of like showcasing of how they're molding the ones who are truly loyal and dedicated, which like Crosshair is. He's the prime example, but not by choice, right? Because of the inhibitor shit, but that blind loyalty is like, you know, we must finish the mission no matter what. That's what Tarkin's looking for.
Yeah, I was Iron Tarkin how happy he was. He liked the mission was a success. Like you didn't send no droids to see how they was doing, to see how that results came about. You really thought having conscripted soldiers made this well? No, Crosshair say fuck this shit. Follow rules or your ass dies.
Roger. He's a bitch.
Oh, but I do have a fun question. Now, you said that you would never put yourself in this position, but I'm not giving you a damn choice. If you could pick a manager between Crosshair or Darth Vader, which one would you rather have?
I'd probably jump
Brittany's
into
face.
Wait. You said Darth Vader versus who?
Crosshair. Which one would be your manager?
Well, I can
How
kill
long you clocking in?
I can definitely kill Crosshair.
With a shotgun.
Some kind of blaster. I can kill.
I can definitively have a chance with Crosshair.
Yeah, I have a chance with Crosshair.
That nigga can force choke me. He can
force choke me. He can force choke me. He can redirect the fucking blaster bolt back at me. He can absorb that shit.
He's
no,
he changed my mind. He lift you up with one hand.
Be like, Vader be like, you don't want this problem. I'm like, nigga, you right.
Hey, I don't want this problem.
You right, nigga.
I'm mad he was on a video call. He choked somebody out. I'm like, damn, through a Zoom meeting?
Exactly. See, no, if I don't want to report no bad news to Vader.
I mean, there's no proof. No proof he did it. He didn't raise a hand up. He was spectating.
Let me be able to force choke niggas in a Zoom call. I don't mean y'all.
Bro, I would be a mad murderer. Please don't give me that power.
I don't mean y'all. I mean just in general.
That's not what the mute button means.
That's what that's
everybody
mute. Start learning hotkeys. Like, wait a minute. Let me get out this shit real quick.
Yeah, I'll take Crosshair.
She ain't trying to get 1-800 choke that hoe.
Yeah, do you know they'd be like, you go tell Vader that we failed. No, I don't want to tell him.
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
I do know.
Come on, Annie, I'm good. Like, no, don't do it.
No, I mean, if you watch episode 5, like just the way everyone was shitting themselves when he just walk around the corner, like, no, I ain't about that life.
It's like seeing the police rolling around that corner. It's like, damn.
Right?
Fuck.
Let me be on my best behavior.
That's when you go take that long bathroom break, like, yo.
Right, exactly.
I'm unavailable.
So you want to go work down in the docks, so you're not gonna be able to command bridge.
Exactly. I was like, stay far away from him.
Go to the engine room.
Yes.
Whew, y'all fun.
That was fun.
But continuing on, now this episode is called The Replacements, and it is deeply rooted because everybody is expendable as fuck. Now, the Bad Batch, they have Omega, but can she really replace Crosshair? Nah, it was cute though. Crosshair's got his own little squad, but you know, he can X them out whenever he feel like it. We got Project War Mantle out to replace clones, and the Kaminoans are not fucking with that shit. They like, wait, the fuck?
The bag. They're trying to fumble the bag.
Not at all. I was hoping they would utilize them to expand on Omega. Like, do they even know that her ass is missing?
I feel like they do because they kind of let her leave. So, you talk about who, Tarkin or the Kaminoans?
The Kaminoans. Like they keep keying trying to figure out how they gonna say they bag, but I'm like, you have a whole clone who was a medical assistant, and she ain't here no more. Okay,
yeah, I feel like they let her leave.
Yeah, they
definitely. Wait, didn't we talk about that last week, right?
Yeah, they definitely let her leave.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
I wasn't here. But don't worry, that was not my question. That was just an observation.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, instead they highlight the fragility with the Empire, and they like the Jango Fett sample is degrading, so we need a new body. Lama Su like, I don't give a fuck. This is our property. We only need one motherfucking body. And then they have, you know, jump shot is Crosshair. Now, how fucked up you think this series will get if we get a special force ops of Crosshairs?
That's literally like an army full of niggas with black Air Force Ones on, bro. I can't know.
An army full of niggas with black
Air Force One energies, yo.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
How come every elite force has to have all black uniforms?
Because that's how you know it's elite.
But like,
because nigga, that's literally how it goes.
But don't make it obvious then.
That's
Don't fuck with it.
literally what they're trying to do is to make it obvious.
I mean, that shit, the outfits was decent though. I was like,
Because if they
that'd be
put
a
him
nice
in, if they put him
cosplay
in,
outfit.
if they put him in white armor, no one would give a fuck.
I mean,
Because
you can
they-
see them. Like, damn, bitch, we see
But
y'all
that'd be
coming.
part of the clothing.
Mhm.
Let me dip.
No, they wouldn't give a no one would give a fuck because they couldn't hit shit. That's the assumption.
Ah.
That'd be
I'm
easier
like,
for you to get him.
it's a stormtrooper. Never mind. Just
Yeah.
Right, we good.
just
Well,
Is
it makes
any
the
of
job
us-
casually
easier for
walk
them.
away.
Right? Is any of us important to the story? They only shoot when it's plot reasons. Any of us. Cool.
Right.
But yes, I think they might be using Crosshair as another sample. But I don't know how fucked up, how soon they're gonna try to get that shit hashed out, how fucked up this shit gonna get. Maybe that's why there's no more clones. I don't know. What do you suspect?
I do think they doing something with this clone stuff. I don't have it all together in my head. That's the thing. But I feel like them, they are just they're testing stuff out. And then like I keep thinking about Baby Yoda, and I was just like, was he a clone? Was that confirmed that he was a clone? Because remember the guy that was like trying to use him or get his blood or sample him, he was working for the kimonos. Are they kimonos? That's Japanese.
No.
Lord.
Kaminoan.
Kaminoans. Okay. Yeah.
Lord,
and
she's
I was
renaming them kimonos. Okay.
Yeah, they're gonna be kimonos. Okay.
They're working for inanimate clothing. Okay. Right.
Yes. Yeah. So like the guy had the patch on his arm, and I was like, so he's working for them too. So I feel like they're just cloning shit. Like I feel like I just don't know what they're cloning, who they're cloning, why was Omega cloned. Like I don't know.
The only reason why cloning existed past like the Clone Wars and like in terms of Star Wars, in terms of the story, is usually for Palpatine's benefit. Because his whole thing was about immortality, living forever, immortality. I mean, that's part of the reason why they got Grogu, was because he had high force potential. So and like the force runs strong in the blood and all that shit. And so I mean, they were basically he's basically making like a spare body. And I think Palpatine is and that kind of drives home the idea of why people think that Omega is actually a clone who happens to be force sensitive. Because if they can manage to create something like that, that works better in Palpatine's favor in the long run. Because the only reason why Palpatine was as fucked up as he was in the sequel trilogy was because he was in a clone body that couldn't contain his power. And having a clone body that had high force potential was the thing. And that's why he wanted Rey to kill. That's why he essentially wanted Rey to kill him. So when she killed him, his spirit would pass into her body because she's of her blood, and which essentially has the same force potential as him.
So he could truly live on.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which it will actually is more, because in that sense, they needed Grogu to create a clone body that had like if they want to tie in the midichlorians, that had a high midichlorian count. Because it was actually what they revealed in the comics is that Snoke was actually a clone of Luke.
Yeah.
DNA from his hand. Yeah.
From his hand that he lost it on.
That was cut off from Bespin.
So yeah.
Okay.
So
that's how Snoke was created.
And I feel like this series is really diving into the whole clone aspect of Star Wars. And that's why I feel like that was something that they never really explained all the way as far as like the new trilogy and all of the newer material. So I feel like now this show is kind of like really talk about that a little bit more as far as canon stuff. I don't.
The problem is they did explain it. Then Disney bought Lucasfilms and said all this shit is non-canon. And so
you talking about like the midichlorian stuff.
There's literal.
Like
No,
comics and stuff.
comics, video games,
all the novels and books, all the video
novels and
games,
books and shit. There's
other
tons of
content, the
material.
movies that came out.
Yeah, there's tons of material that explain this shit, and like Disney did away with that shit. Like they're like in the legends in the old continuity, like Luke had his own clone, literally called Luke Skywalker with 2 U's. I don't know how that fuck happened, but you know, this
There's some weird continuity. There's some weird stuff. Let's have some weird stuff.
But
maybe that's why they
some great
was
stuff
like,
too.
But
Some great
let's
stuff.
go ahead and make this makes all the way.
Yeah.
Let's cut these.
Yeah.
But yeah, like one thing they did keep from the old continuity is Palpatine dying on the Death Star and him sending his spirit into a clone body. That actually happened in the old continuity. It is just what happened after that. They just kind of said fuck that because like Luke became his apprentice after the fact. Again, what the fuck? But it's
I
sort
have
of
a question for y'all, but go ahead and finish your thought. For you and
no,
Ken
you go ahead because
Okay.
I'm just rambling at this point.
Okay, so as a person that read material outside of the stuff that Disney's been putting out, how does it make you feel all this new material that's coming out and they just basically said fuck all that legend and shit that y'all read before? Like how does that like how you watch Star Wars now, like how does that
Makes sense.
it makes sense to you, I guess.
It's like yeah.
You go ahead, bro.
For me, it's like a difference between like I don't know, if I'm putting it 2 different buckets, basically like a BC and an AD or something like that. It's like it's 2 different eras. There's the pre-Disney and there's the post. And it's the Disney Star Wars. So when they got rid of everything. So when they bought Disney, they got rid of they made everything outside of the 6 movies, the Clone Wars TV show, everything outside that, they made that non-canon basically. So there's a lot of content. Like when I mentioned before how I spent countless hours on Wikipedia just reading up tons of content and lore and all that, like on YouTube as well, like catch up on a lot of different lore and everything. There's a lot of really good content there that is just suddenly erased. Like a lot of people were very hurt when Chewbacca died in Legends. He was crushed by a moon. So it took a moon crash into a planet to kill Chewbacca. He went out like a G. So a lot of people were hurt from that. Like I was hurt too. So when that was all that was like made non-canon, like, so you can't just take that pain away.
Okay.
Like it's fresh.
So I will say in Rise of Skywalker when I was like, oh shit, but no, they didn't. I was like, okay, they didn't. Like I was like, oh, well, they actually did kill him because there are a lot of elements, a lot of things like Thrawn, for example. That was one big thing that.
Because he was
a legend.
character.
Man, everyone loves Thrawn, man. And then when he was made non-canon either, so that a lot of people hate that. So, but I see they're bringing him back again. They recently made Revan canon again.
Oh yes,
so,
my favorite Sith Lord.
So overall, they did do the chopping block, but they are bringing a lot of the good elements back in.
And you think it's because like Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, are kind of they're Star Wars fans and they kind of listening to the people that has been like getting all the other material.
Definitely.
I mean, because I'm pretty sure because they themselves are professed fans of like the old continuity, so they probably just reintroducing that shit under a new banner. The thing about the Star Wars expanded universe is the fact that it's not limited to like the movies or the timeline of the movies itself. It goes back thousands of years. I'm sorry, I got liquor burps. I'm trying to.
And 4,000 years.
And it's like it's one right here, and it's just not. So yeah. All right. So yeah.
You got Rick on your shirt right now, Rick Sanchez.
It's so fitting.
That fits.
It fits well.
20% accurate as usual. One of the best Star Wars games is on Knights of the Old Republic, and that one takes place 4,000 years before the Battle of Yavin, before the movies that we know, and so so there's a lot of things that got introduced in the old continuity that kind of set the tone. That's kind of set the tone and explained a lot of shit that happens in the movies. Like, why is there double-bladed lightsabers? Turns out it was the invention of a Sith Lord who was a former Jedi. I don't know how true that is now because they changed shit. It was the invention of Exar Kun, I think.
Yeah.
But
It's basically like it's a lot. There were like legends, the legends content, which what it's called now is legends, but that amount is a lot of content. There's a lot of good stuff in there, but it's also a lot of like questionable stuff in like the early Marvel Star Wars comics stuff. Like
no, we don't talk about those.
But yeah, like so, like they too wanted to kind of cut those off too. So
and like the thing that made the expanded universe as great as it was is the fact that it explained a lot of the shit. And it set like a foundation for the rest of the movies and shit. Because there'll be times where they say shit that don't make sense in the movies, then it gets expanded upon in the expanded universe, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. The story makes sense. This world makes sense. And so basically, gutting the entire fucking continuity made everything that didn't make a lick of sense that made sense. That made sense. Now it's like, well, how the fuck did this happen? And they still reintroducing that shit. Like the last Sith, like the last war between the Jedi and the Sith, the fucking the first Jedi purge, all of the Mandalorian wars, all that shit. The Great Hyperspace War, all that shit. It's just like I don't know. It explained a lot. It did more to expand the universe.
So yeah,
and make it
more.
It
was basically like what Legends did. It filled in the gaps, but when they did it, they cut all that out, so the gaps were there. But instead of filling those gaps again, what they did instead was come with a new trilogy to create more gaps. Now they're filling all this stuff. More gaps.
Okay, let me say I'm sorry.
Okay, it got convoluted.
I don't know. I was like, I'm sorry.
But
I was just curious of how.
I was about to say, let's stop this because we'll be here
y'all
all
about
day.
to go off the deep end. Go ahead, Drea. Continue.
Thank you for extending this video time. Sorry. No, it's fine. It was a dry episode. Let's be honest.
We should actually have a conversation a little bit deeper about that type of stuff. So that'll be interesting.
I'm with it. It was a dry episode, you know. We have a little side quest that didn't really amount much to anything other than I can do what you do too, Hunter. Look what I did.
she gained a skill set and some XP. Look at that.
Right? And I got my own room. Hey, I'm with the crew now. 4 men and a baby. That's how I read this.
4 men and a baby.
But as in, it was not a lot of context in this episode. So if you have any predictions, feel free to drop them. Right now, it's like, damn, what we going to do next? So they have no insinuation of where they're going to go, where they're going to hide, what are we going to do? Crosshair's just, waiting for his next mission.
Yeah, honestly, they didn't really allude to anything else outside of
Kaminoan's being mad.
Yeah, like they're like, we need to secure our bag. That was literally all that I got from them. And then Crosshair, it seemed like Tarkin is not. Oh, the little young guy, the Empire young guy. I don't know.
The Imperial officer.
Yes, what was his
name?
Rampart.
Yeah. So it seemed like he's gonna probably try to like prove his point that his people are better than clones. So maybe it might be a little conflict there. Well, it's obviously conflict already, but yeah, we'll see.
That dude's an office work bitch. trying his best to get promotions and get praise and brown nose and all that shit.
Yeah,
Fuck
he
him.
definitely brown nosing for real. Like, and
No,
so
sir. I
mean,
believe that we can do this, all that, and yeah, and we can, and I believe that my fucking troops can do this better than the clones.
What's with this
Hey,
accent?
governor. Hey, governor.
oh, did he have a British accent?
Governor
He
talk.
did though. Low key, he did have. I'm noticing all these damn accents. I'm like, yikes.
Well, that's
Yeah.
because like now that Will have brought like that to my attention with Omega and her Australia or New Zealand accent. Now
He got
Yeah.
a little twang of Australian. It came out. It's a
neighbors.
creature, and I'm like,
it's
there
a
we go.
creature.
They neighbors.
They are neighbors, so yeah, they do sound like. But yeah, now
Y'all
I'm
sound
paying
like a
attention
bunch
to
of
the accent.
colonizers.
Y'all silly. You
It's-
silly.
I remember I saw this video a couple of days ago, and it was like it started off like a home improvement video or some shit, and it was like this New Zealand dude talking about like how good his deck was, like his at his house.
It
But-
didn't sound
but-
like Deck, did it?
it sounded like yes, like it was like the missus next door loves my dick, and like what the fuck, like my dick, and like so yeah, it was
So big and wide it can satisfy 6 people. We can have a whole barbecue.
right.
There.
The whole neighborhood loves being on my dick. Like what the fuck?
Hey,
It's funny. It was funny.
It's community. Community team.
community dick.
Rated
Dick.
E for everybody.
Yeah, that's all I got. I don't know what's gonna happen in the next episode.
Anybody else have any predictions? Because I haven't either. My expectations are probably nowhere. I'm
Oh,
gonna
no,
cruise
man.
with these 16 episodes.
Well, it's 16
Minus 3.
Well, if they
13.
if they do this, like it's 16 episodes, so I'm assuming like every 4 episodes something should happen. So whatever they're planning to do with Crosshairs, I think there's going to be an ambush between them and Crosshairs in the next episode, because it doesn't make sense to keep them separate liquor burp, sorry, keep them separated as long as possible and shit. Like I'm like, there needs to be some confrontation between these people, and there needs to be some sort of confrontation, or they need to find somebody who because Rex is gonna pop up eventually at some point. So yeah, it's something needs to happen narrative wise in this next video, in this next episode. But what that may be, I don't know, because so far it never really gave any sort of inclination about what that might be.
Yeah, there was no lead on at the end, so there's really no like prediction, like true prediction aside of like what you think of like the next plot point, because they didn't have a lead in the episode. So I also think that they would try to find Rex. Ultimately, is the goal of the Bad Batch is to just go where Rex is, or where they think he would be.
Right.
With Crosshair, I think they will give him another mission. It may be after the Bad Batch, or maybe something else.
Ooh, or maybe Saw Gerrera.
Yeah, because the Saw wasn't there, so therefore he didn't truly complete the mission.
I'm low-key tired of seeing Saul, to be honest.
You saw Saw? No.
Get out with these dad jokes.
Oh, kid
What
is
the
like a
fuck?
whole dad minus the kid. Like,
Man, he's an uncle. What are you doing?
He is definitely an uncle too.
I've been an uncle for a long time.
Damn, you just threw your siblings under the bus. Like, yes, they keep making me an uncle. They just won't stop.
But nah, yeah, they Crosshair will get a mission. That or the Kaminoans will probably try to take him, because they don't have control. I don't think they have full control of him. So Tarkin may try to continue doing the mission, but they may either try to sample from the Crosshair, or they send someone out to go after Bad Batch as well. Because they're what they want is a sample from the Bad Batch. But who, if it matters or not, that's one question mark there.
They might intersect on the mission. I think that's the only smoothest way they can intersect. If you happen to be at the same place at the same time, coincidentally, because how else are you going to track these people?
It's just a matter of who would they send. In that case, they couldn't introduce a new character with that because the Kaminoans can't send clones. They would have to conscript outside. So it could be.
Oh my God! Is she? Wait, what's her name? Fennec. Is she coming back? How's she gonna come back?
So this could be. This could be like one of those episodes. Like
come through, Fa Mulan. Come through. If we don't have any other opinions, I can wrap this shit up.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, but that's all that we have for episode 3 of the Bad Batch. The Replacements. Make sure you like and subscribe. Drop a comment if you have.
Oh yeah, and check out the podcast. Sorry about that. I forgot.
Where's the podcast again?
Shit.
Spotify?
Yes, Spotify. It's definitely on Spotify.
We're gonna drop the links on our social media outlets so you guys can find it fluidly because we are orderly. Get it together. But all right, that's it, folks. See you guys next time. Like, subscribe. Peace.
Deuces.